In this video, we shall learn how to do influence diagnostics using R. First, quickly recall why we are interested in finding the influential points. Because remember, an influential point is like this, where I have a point here, one single point, and that causes the fit to change so much that it fits neither that point nor the bulk of the point. Obviously, if you have even one such point, it is going to completely ruin the fit. That is why we are interested in detecting which are the influential outliers. Now, when it is a two-dimensional setup like this, you can easily check that by making a plot, which always remains the best way of doing things. However, if you have a multi-dimensional setup, then finding one such weird point is very difficult. That is why we take automated ways of finding them. What should we do after we have detected an influential point? Well, that depends on why the influential point came in the first place. Roughly speaking, there are three ways by which an influential point may occur. Number one, it could be just a typo. In that case, of course, you need to be able to detect it and correct it. So you might think of this technique, influence diagnostics, as a way of spell checking a typo. You cannot use a spell checker to find a typo in numbers, so this is one way of doing that. The second type is where it is actually outside the population. Now, whenever you are carrying out any statistical analysis, you have in mind some kind of a population for which you want your inference to be valid. And all the sample points must be from inside that population. Now, occasionally, something may enter your sample inadvertently, which really does not belong to that population. For instance, you might be interested in studying the behavior of students in a certain economic class, say somewhat like the lower middle class in say West Bengal, and for that what you do is you go to various schools that are frequented by these students. Now, it may happen that some occasional students in such a school is actually not really fit in, so not really belonging in that school. So, for example, they are going to leave that school within a year. They are there only because they have missed some deadline in getting admitted to some better places, and they are there only to maintain continuity for a year. So, in which case, if you put such a student in your sample, your entire conclusion will become ruined. So, you need to understand that this particular student which has entered your sample is really not part of the population that you are interested in studying. In this case, what you should do is simply throw away this influential observation. Now, the third way by which we can get an influential observation is when you are having an extreme case inside your population. Like you are carrying out some clinical study and you have taken into account lots of different factors that are going to be of importance. But then you find that if certain weird combination occurs, for example, a woman is pregnant and she is also under a particular type of drug, then the effect of your treatment is drastically different. Now, you had no way of knowing that this strange combination, pregnancy together with that drug, is going to have an effect. So, you really did not keep pregnancy or usage of that drug as one of your factors. But if that is the case, in that case, your influential observation is very important. Then your final conclusion should be that if that weird condition does not occur, then follow this model. If that condition occurs, then do something else. So, in this case, you really do not throw away that point from your study, but you set that point aside, fit the model to the remaining bulk of the data, and then consider that point separately. So, depending on the reason behind the genesis of the influential point, you may need to do these three things.